Welcome back to the orchard. Today we're taking a look at the Starking Delicious Pear. This past spring I actually took a chainsaw to it. I did leave some nursery branches and I did do some grafting in those major cuts. So we'll take a look today and see how those have grown. So starting here at the bottom, I did have some limbs here that were dipping down so low they were touching the ground. I snipped those back, but otherwise I really have not attempted to do anything to prune this tree at all. I wanted it to kind of put out whatever potential it could, and I'll just shape it in the spring. But other than that, I really haven't done anything down here. We've had a couple of limbs here that have grown in from the bottom. So these are below where the grafting was done. And you can see those have just really pushed out. Got a lot of thick growth here, filling in a lot of space. Once the leaves are gone and in the spring, I'll go ahead and thin this out a little bit and just pick a couple. I'm not really too concerned about a crazy good structure on this tree. If it's more of a bush, that's fine with me, as long as we have enough airflow to prevent any sorts of disease problems in here. The problem I have noticed is that we've got pear mites. So that's what this reddish color is, and it turns brown once they're done in there. I should be picking off these leaves, but I haven't. Taking a closer look in here at where the grafting was done, this was actually a nursery branch. This is not one that I grafted. It did shoot out this water sprout here, and now both of these are somewhat competing for that center area of the tree. So I'll be selecting from those whichever I prefer, which will probably be this taller one here that came off to the side. I'll probably choose that. And then in here, these grafts were successful. All three of these have growth, especially this one and this one really pushed out a lot of growth. So this one comes out all the way up here, and then another one goes here and up into the middle here. That's the same one here that I grafted. So definitely you can tell the difference in grafting over with material into something that's been cut back a lot. The more you cut something back, the more it can push out. So that was really cool to see. And then the third one here didn't do a lot, but it did come up at least this far here. But I've not seen any sign of Fireblight on any of these, so I think I did pick at least clean scions that didn't have any of that issue. I do have a few spots like this that I've seen where potentially there is some Fireblight issue, but the leaves look fine next to this. So I'm not completely sure that that's what that is, but hopefully when winter comes and all the leaves fall naturally that fall asleep, then the leaves that remain on the tree will show me if I do have Fireblight in this tree somewhere. So hopefully if it is infected still, then it'll be obvious enough from what's left on the tree to know what I need to cut out. But hopefully with this much growth in here, I'm gonna be able to select out the pieces that still have that growing on it and just prune in favor of those parts of the tree that are still clean. Looking at the other side here, you can see how these grafts have healed in. So this one here is doing quite well. It's a good central leader for this side of the tree. And the one in the back did okay, did a little bit of growth. And then some nurse branches here have gone in. I had one other type of pear tree in here, a Shinshiki pear limb, and that did not make it. But those other two did make it. So I'll probably reduce this down, and I might even try and continue with the idea of having a dual trunk system. So I'll let one side grow out one way and one grow out the other way, keep them separate, train them together, and hopefully that'll keep the overall tree size down, because that was another problem with this tree, is it gets a lot taller than I can reach and gets a little out of hand. So keeping that short will be something that I'm aiming for. But yeah, overall I'm very pleased with how this tree's turned out. There's just a few leaves up in there that might be hanging down due to Fireblight issues, but I've not really seen enough of an impact anywhere that I can for sure say, yes, this limb here has Fireblight on it. So I'm really excited about that, plus all the clean looking growth that's in here, and the idea of being able to cut off and then reshape as needed in order to really make sure that it's gone out of everything that's still here. I think it'll still be a problem overall in the orchard that I've got to keep an eye out for, because even if just the smallest amount would overwinter and reinfect, then all the trees here are at risk. So I've really just got to make sure that that's not the case. We'll check back in with it in the winter, see if we've got any signs of that fire blight. But until then, if you haven't checked out the original pruning I did on this video, check out this one here. And if you'd like to see how I've worked over an apple tree to add a bunch of different varieties to it, check that out here. Thanks for watching.